Okay, well, my name's Lisa Cherry, and the work that I've been doing around the UK is work that's ongoing around the UK from lots of different people actually doing work around trauma and recovery and building resilience, and also adverse childhood experiences. And so I spend my time delivering training around the UK to schools, foster carers, social workers, adopters, anybody who's working with vulnerable children is how I spend my time. About 8 or 9 years ago I became self-employed, and what happened really for me was part of my own personal journey of recovery from my own childhood experiences that got me into a place where I discovered that we had this language, this narrative, this language of understanding that I hadn't come across before, I hadn't seen before, a way of understanding and interpreting not just what had happened to me, but that what happens to us as humans is a very human experience, and we have a very human response to that. So really, upon that discovery, my passion just grew and grew and grew, and I started bringing the professional knowledge that I had alongside my own personal journey and pulling all of that together, and people seem to be able to connect with that in some way. So I just carried on doing what I was doing, and that's now what I do all the time. I think there are some really key important themes. One would be around the power of relationships for healing. So how do we heal? We heal through connection. How do we form connection? We do that through empathy. How do we release shame? We do that through empathy with one another. We do that through me sharing something with you and you responding to that with empathy. I think that's a really important message about how we heal within relationships that I would want anyone to have. The other thing that's really important, I think, is for people to understand that, and Safina touched upon this, it's not what's wrong with us, it's what happened to us. And when we understand that the way that we're built as human beings, that complex interplay of our genes, the environment we're born into, the things that happen to us, all of those things working together all the time to create our unique humanness, means that we can approach each other more kindly, and we can have a better understanding of perspective. And also, we were talking earlier about tolerance, have a better understanding of tolerance when we have a better understanding of perspective. Well, I think paradoxically the things that stay with me are when I've worked with young people and they haven't made it, actually. And sitting with that sadness of people not having the opportunity to heal from what happened to them is incredibly powerful in terms of thinking about how do we heal, how do we recover? How do we be in society so that we're not so riddled with the shame of the things that have happened to us that we can't connect with other human beings? Those are the really powerful moments for me in my work, I think. We need to be having conversations, because it's within those conversations that we open up a space that says, actually, that happened to me too. And, you know, that's something that means that we have something that's the same, and that the fantastic news is that we can heal from that. I come with a very, very open mind, and I spent quite a bit of time really thinking, how can I bring what we're doing into something that I culturally have no experience of? I haven't worked here, I haven't lived here, how do I make sense of that? And then I thought, you know what, trauma is trauma. A human is a human is a human. We have the same physiology, which means that we have the same physiological response to toxic stress. And if that's the case, then I don't need to worry too much about you not understanding me and me not understanding you. We can have a connection. And so that's what I bring. I want to bring the work that we're doing in the UK, and I want to receive the work that's going on in Pakistan, and you yourself have expressed and explained to me all sorts of pieces of work that you're doing specifically in Pakistan, which is very exciting to hear about. So I see myself as very fortunate because I'm here learning. I want to give and I want to learn something too. All I know is that the more that we connect, the more opportunity we have to create change, because the world is a very divided, hurting place with all sorts of distress within it. And the more that we can connect with each other, I think the better that can be. How that might look, I don't know at this stage, but that's always my aim, is to create more connection.